Hey everyone, and welcome. So, if you've ever created a track with AI music tools, you have probably slammed right into a brick wall trying to get it on Spotify. In this explainer, we're not just going to talk about that problem, we're diving headfirst into the solution that is seriously changing the game for AI musicians. Okay, let's just get right to it, because you've probably been there. You spend hours, maybe days, crafting the absolute perfect track with a tool like Suno or Udio. You're excited, you're ready to share it with the world, and then rejection. Your distributor, maybe DistroKid, flags it as AI generated. And just like that, all that hard work feels like it's gone right down the drain. So frustrating, right? So, what is actually happening behind the scenes? Well, the problem comes down to these hidden digital fingerprints. See, AI music generators, they leave behind these invisible traces in the audio file. We're talking about things like robotic frequency patterns and timing that's just a little too perfect. And you guessed it, distribution platforms have gotten incredibly good at sniffing out these exact telltale signs. But what if you could just erase those fingerprints completely? That brings us to the whole point of this explainer, a tool designed to do exactly that. Undetectr. Let's dig in. Now, what's so cool about this tool is that it's not like other checkers that just detect AI. No, Undetectr is the first engine of its kind that's built to actually remove the digital artifacts that get your music flagged in the first place. So it doesn't just tell you there's a problem, it actually solves it.
And listen, this isn't some random, obscure tool nobody's heard of. It's been getting some serious attention from major publications. We're talking the New York Times, Forbes, TechCrunch, you name it. That gives it a whole lot of credibility right out of the gate.
So, the big question, does it actually work? Let's look at the data. A typical track, fresh out of a generator, like Suno, can score as high as 97% on a standard AI detector. That's pretty much a guaranteed rejection from any distributor. Game over. But after you run that exact same track through Undetectr, that AI detection score absolutely plummets, down to just 2 or 3%. I mean, that is a massive drop, and it really shows you just how effective this thing is. It basically makes your track indistinguishable from one recorded by a human. So how in the world does it pull this off? Let's dive into the tech and see how it makes an AI track sound, well, human. Okay, so Undetectr uses this really comprehensive 6-step humanization process. First, it does something called spectral smoothing, which gets rid of those harsh, unnatural frequency spikes that AI just loves to create. Then it does timing humanization, adding these tiny, almost imperceptible variations to the rhythm so it doesn't sound so mechanically perfect. It even adds these little pitch micro variations, to mimic the natural, subtle drift in a human singer's voice. And that's not all. It restores the dynamic range and normalizes the noise floor, so it sounds like it was made in a real studio, not some digital void. And the final touch, which is genius, is the metadata cleanup. It scrubs any info from the file that could identify which AI tool you used. It's a total top-to-bottom approach. Now, what's really interesting here is that Undetectr isn't just a single tool. It's actually part of a bigger creator suite that's designed to help you with the entire production process. Yeah, if you decide to go for the lifetime plan, it comes packed with all these bonus tools. You get an exclusive feature called Sound Match, which is wild. It generates prompts from any song you like. There's a bulk downloader for Suno, a huge vault of proven prompts, and it even includes free automatic mastering specifically for platforms like Spotify and Apple Music. This brings us to a super crucial point for any creator, right? The cost. And more importantly, the potential return on that investment. Is this thing actually a smart move for your music career? The pricing is pretty simple. There's a starter plan for $19 that gets you 10 tracks. But honestly, the real value, the no-brainer, seems to be the lifetime deal. For a one-time payment of $39, you get unlimited track processing and that entire suite of bonus tools we just talked about. So let me just repeat that. It's $39. One time for lifetime access. Now, the source material does make it clear that this is a special founder's price, so it's probably going to go up in the future. For anyone who's serious about releasing AI music, that price is, well, it's pretty hard to argue with. And just to put that $39 investment into perspective, let's talk about the potential return. The earnings calculator on their site estimates that if you had just 50 tracks and they averaged around 8,000 streams a month, you could be earning over $2,200 a month. That is a massive, massive potential return on a pretty small initial investment.
Okay, so let's wrap this all up. Let's get to our final verdict, which is based on the verified review from popular AIcools.ai. The big question, is Undetectr actually worth it?
You know, when you stack it up against the alternatives, you realize Undetectr is kind of in a league of its own. Those free detectors, they just tell you there's a problem. They don't fix it. And trying to do this manually with EQ and plugins, it's incredibly time-consuming, and you're probably going to miss key digital artifacts anyway. This is really the only all-in-one solution that solves the core problem from start to finish.
And here it is, the ultimate proof, straight from this source review. The team at Popular AI Tools confirmed it themselves. Tracks they made with Suno were run through Undetectr, and they were approved for distribution on DistroKid in less than 24 hours. Bottom line, it just works. So the final verdict is a very strong recommendation, a 4.7 out of 5. Look, if you're using AI to create music and you actually want to get it onto Spotify and earn some money, this tool feels pretty essential. I mean, if you've ever had even just one track rejected, it pays for itself right then and there. And that leaves us with a final, much bigger question to think about. For years, the barriers to becoming a recording artist were talent, expensive equipment, and industry access. Tools like this are effectively removing that final technical hurdle for AI music. So, what happens now? When absolutely anyone with an idea can release a professional-sounding track, what is the future of music going to sound like? I guess we're all about to find out.